Have you ever had that gnawing feeling in your gut? You know something's off, but you can't tell if it's your intuition warning you or just your anxiety spiraling again. Today, we're going to help you finally tell the difference.
By the end of this video, you'll know exactly how anxiety and intuition show up differently in your body, plus the 3 questions you can use that will help you distinguish between wisdom and fear, so you can trust yourself with confidence.
Hi, friends, and welcome back. And if you're new here, welcome to our community. I'm Tehrina.
And I'm Joel.
And this is Da Vinci.
We're licensed therapists, and together we help you decode the ABCs of relationships: attachment, boundaries, and communication, so you can trust your inner knowing without second-guessing yourself.
Before we dive into today's topic, we'd like to ask a small favor. If these insights are helping you navigate relationships with more clarity, the simplest way you can support us is by hitting the subscribe button.
And our commitment to you is that when you subscribe and leave a comment, we actually listen. We don't just create videos for you, we create them with you.
And today's video is the perfect example of that. In last week's video, we received this comment from one of our viewers who said, I couldn't figure out my intuition/gut versus anxiety. We replied and asked if a somatic-based video would be helpful, and they said absolutely. So here we are. If you've ever felt the same confusion, we hope this video brings you some much-needed clarity.
And thank you for being a part of our community. Now let's explore how your body already knows the difference between anxiety and intuition and how your mind can catch up.
This question of trying to decipher between intuition and anxiety is something I deeply understand. For years, I struggled to differentiate between the anxious part of me that feared abandonment and the wise part that actually knew what was healthy for me.
And what makes this particularly challenging is that both anxiety and intuition can feel important. But understanding the distinction is crucial because one keeps you stuck in fear patterns while the other guides you towards authentic connection and safety.
So first, let's take a moment to explain the fundamental difference. Intuition is that deep, often quiet knowing that comes from your whole self. Your accumulated wisdom, your authentic needs, your capacity to sense what's truly aligned for you. It's calm even when the message might be difficult to hear. In internal family systems, tuning into this intuition is what is referred to as your capital S self.
Anxiety, on the other hand, is your nervous system's threat response. It's future-focused, often catastrophic, and rooted in fear of potential danger or pain. While anxiety can sometimes point to real concerns, it amplifies them through the lens of worst-case scenarios and often paralyzes rather than guides.
Think of it this way. Intuition whispers, anxiety screams. Intuition says, something's off, pay attention here. Anxiety says, everything's wrong, run, hide, fix it now. One feels grounded, even if uncomfortable, and one feels chaotic and urgent.
Your body is incredibly wise. It often knows the difference before your mind does. Research in somatic psychology shows that anxiety and intuition activate different parts of your nervous system, which means they literally feel different physically.
Right. So, for example, when I'm experiencing intuition, it often shows up for me as a subtle but clear sensation in my body. When my intuition is telling me, no, pay attention, this isn't for you, it often feels like a gentle stomach drop, like when the elevator starts moving and my chest feels closed. When my intuition is saying yes and guiding me towards something, it often feels like a calm knowing and a feeling of expansiveness and openness in my chest. Sometimes I'll even get goosebumps. There's a quality of stillness or groundedness to it. Anxiety, by contrast, typically shows up for me as restlessness or fidgeting, where I can't sit still, a strong sense of urgency or even panic and spiraling catastrophic thoughts. This is how I've come to notice the difference between intuition and anxiety in my own body. And we're going to do an exercise at the end of this video to help you identify how both feel in your bodies, since we're all different.
And don't worry about trying to jot this all down. We've created a free downloadable PDF with this information, so you can refer to it frequently on your journey of discovering the difference between intuition and anxiety. Just go to the description box and click on the link to grab it.
Yes, and this is what it looks like. You can just print it up if you would like, and it's nice because you can just keep it with you to refer to often. During my early healing journey, I remember being on a date where I felt a knot in my stomach. My anxious part was saying, he seems nice. What's wrong with you? Don't mess this up. But my intuitive knowing was saying, something about how he talks to you doesn't feel quite right. Learning to distinguish between these two took practice.
And the key is that anxiety often makes your body feel restless and a desire to act with urgency, while intuition, even when saying no, tends to feel more calm and clear. Your breathing might deepen when you acknowledge an intuitive hit, where anxiety usually makes your breath shallow and rapid.
Over the years, I developed 3 questions that help me distinguish between my anxious patterns and my inner wisdom. These have been game changers for both me and my clients, and now I want to share them with you. You'll find these questions in the downloadable PDF that we've created for you. The first question is, am I reacting from fear or love? Though since today we're talking about anxiety and intuition, let's call love knowing and fear anxiety. This requires pausing and getting honest about your emotional state. Fear shows up as the what if scenarios and worrying about outcomes. Love or knowing feels more like a deep sense of this is true or this doesn't align without the need to convince or justify.
The second question to ask yourself is, has this feeling been consistent over time, or does it shift with my mood? Intuition tends to be stable. If something feels off about a situation, that feeling persists across different emotional states. Anxiety often fluctuates based on factors such as how tired I am, what else is stressing me, or whether I just watched a triggering movie or engaged with another form of upsetting media.
The third question is deeply powerful. Ask yourself, if I felt completely safe and calm, would I still feel this way? This one helps to remove the fear factor. When you imagine yourself in a state of total security, no threat of rejection, abandonment, or failure, does that gut feeling still persist? If it does, it's likely intuition. If it dissolves, you're probably dealing with anxiety. I remember using this third question when deciding whether to end a friendship that was draining me. My anxiety was screaming, "This is your fault. You're too sensitive." But when I imagined feeling completely secure, the knowing remained. This dynamic wasn't healthy for either of us.
Let's look at a dating scenario where people struggle to distinguish anxiety from intuition. Imagine you're on a first date and feel uncomfortable. Is this intuition warning you about incompatibility or anxiety from past experiences? Anxiety might sound like,
He's been glancing at his phone. He's obviously not interested and probably texting another woman right now. I'm not good enough. This always happens to me. I should be more charming.
notice the spiraling, the personalization, the urgency. Intuition might feel something like,
Something about his energy feels dismissive. He's interrupted me several times, and I don't feel seen or heard in this conversation.
notice the specific observable behaviors without the story about what it means about you. Here's another example, but this time related to friendship. You haven't heard from a friend in a while, and you're wondering whether to reach out or let the friendship go. Anxiety creates elaborate stories.
They hate me. I did something wrong. They're telling everyone how terrible I am.
While intuition might offer,
This relationship has felt one-sided for months. I always initiate contact, and I'm tired of being the one who cares more.
it's factual, it acknowledges patterns, and it's about the dynamic, not your inherent worthiness.
The key is that intuition focuses on what is, while anxiety catastrophizes about what might be. Intuition is present tense and specific, and anxiety is future tense and sweeping.
From a neuroscientific perspective, anxiety and intuition activate different areas of the brain. Anxiety primarily engages the amygdala, which is our threat detection center, which can hijack rational thinking and create fight, flight, freeze responses. Intuition, however, integrates information from multiple brain areas, including the prefrontal cortex, the insula, which processes bodily sensations, and even the vagus nerve, which connects our gut to our brain. This is why we literally feel intuition in our gut. Research by Dr. Judith Orloff shows that intuitive decision-making actually activates the right hemisphere of the brain, which processes patterns, emotions, and holistic information simultaneously. Anxiety, conversely, get stuck in the left brain's analytical loops, creating repetitive, obsessive thinking patterns. What's fascinating is that studies on mindfulness and somatic awareness show that when we practice tuning in to our body's signals, we actually strengthen the neural pathways between our gut and our brain. This makes intuitive information more accessible and clearer over time. Dr. Peter Levine's work in somatic experiencing reveals that our body holds a felt sense of safety versus danger that operates faster than conscious thought. His research demonstrates that intuition often comes through what he calls pendulation, a gentle oscillation between felt experiences that helps us find our natural equilibrium. And this is very different from anxiety's pattern of getting stuck in activation without resolution. Dr. Stephen Porges' polyvagal theory explains that our nervous system has multiple states, and intuition tends to arise when we're in a state of social engagement rather than defensive mode. When we're calm and connected, our capacity to access our wise knowing increases exponentially. This is why the grounding questions we shared are so effective. They help shift your nervous system back into a state where intuitive wisdom can be heard above the noise of anxiety.
Now let's get to the heart of it. Here's what I wish someone had told me years ago. Your intuition is always with you, even when anxiety feels louder. The goal isn't to eliminate anxiety, it's a part of you that's trying to keep you safe. The goal is to develop a relationship with both your inner wisdom and your anxious part so that you can access your deeper wisdom when you need it. This is really beautifully explained using the IFS framework. I absolutely love using parts work, and while we haven't made a video about this yet, if you'd like for us to do so, please drop a note in the comments. For many of us, especially those with anxious attachment or past trauma, our threat detection system works overtime. We've learned that hypervigilance keeps us safe, but it can also drown out the quieter voice of intuition that knows what truly serves us. So learning to distinguish between anxiety and intuition is fundamentally about building a more loving relationship with yourself. It's about honoring that anxious part that has good intentions of protecting you, while also creating space for your wise self to guide you. The beautiful truth is that as you practice this discernment, your anxiety naturally begins to soften. When your intuitive self is trusted and honored, your anxious parts don't need to work so hard to get your attention. Please remember, this is a practice, not a perfection. Some days it will be easy to tell the difference, and other days the lines might feel very blurry and frustrating. And it's completely normal at this part of the journey where you're building deeper self-trust.
We want to close with a guided exercise to help you attune to how these energies feel in your own body. If you're able, find a comfortable position and gently close your eyes or soften your gaze. Take a few slow, deep breaths. Notice where your body contacts the surface beneath you. Feel your feet flat on the ground.
Now think back to a time when you felt deep inner knowing. Maybe when you knew exactly what decision to make, or when something felt just perfectly right. This could be choosing a career path, ending a relationship that wasn't serving you, or even something simple like knowing you needed to go to bed early one night.
Notice where you felt that sense of rightness in your body. Is there expansion, warmth, a sense of ease or flow? Take a moment to really attune to these physical sensations of intuitive knowing.
Now gently shift your awareness. Think of a time when you made a decision from anxiety. Perhaps you agreed to something just to avoid conflict, or changed your plans because you were worried about what others might think.
Notice how this feels in your body. Maybe there's tightness, constriction, or a sense of forcing. Perhaps your breath gets shallower, or you notice tension in your jaw or shoulders.
Take a moment to compare these two experiences in your body. Notice the difference without judging either state. Both have been a part of your journey and have likely served you in different ways.
As you practice this awareness, you're literally training your nervous system to distinguish between fear and wisdom. Each time you pause to notice, you're strengthening your capacity to trust your inner guidance.
Now take one more deep breath, and when you're ready, gently open your eyes. Notice how you feel after this brief body awareness exercise.
We've covered a lot today, From understanding the fundamental differences between anxiety and intuition to practicing somatic awareness, the key takeaway is that your body already knows the difference. It's about developing the trust and awareness to listen.
Now, don't forget to grab the free downloadable PDF that we've created, which includes everything we've covered today, so you can have it easily at your fingertips as you're learning to distinguish between anxiety and intuition in your own body.
As we mentioned earlier, we created this video after receiving a request for it from another video we created about how smart people miss red flags in dating. Hint, it's about ignoring your intuition. If you missed it, check it out here next.
You know we love to hear from you, so tell us, which of these exercises was most helpful for you? Have you noticed specific ways anxiety and intuition show up differently in your own body? Share your experience in the comments. Your insights often help others feel less alone on their journey.
Your time is valuable. Thank you for sharing some of it with us today. If you found this helpful, please give it a like. And if you know someone who struggles with distinguishing between their intuition and their anxiety, please share this video with them. It could provide the clarity and relief they need.
Subscribe and take care of your heart. And remember, you're not alone. We're all in this together.